Hey everyone, Lockie back with another video. I wanted to quickly cover the concept of switching feet. I have a longer tutorial video on this topic already, but I just wanted to dig through some examples of switching feet and specifically just talk about the weight distribution in your feet as you're going through that switch. In this video, I'll bring up some examples of switching feet before jibing, switching feet before tacking, because that's sort of the main times that you'll use that. Let's jump onto the computer and run through some examples. First example was from a session I had down in Mornington, and it was probably 15 knots in this video. I'm riding on a 4-meter wing, and same for all the other videos you're going to see. I'm riding a 105 mast and the Eagle 690. So on this day, I was somewhat close to the brake wall, and what was happening was the wind chop was bouncing off the brake wall and coming back out. You had all this like constructive and destructive waves, like sort of adding together. It was just like riding in a washing machine, basically. I'll play the video through once just so you can have a look. So there you go. You can see, the waves are pretty messy. But yeah, that's the tack. So to dig through frame by frame, and the biggest thing that I want to point out, you'll see in a couple frames. So riding along, heel side, and you'll see already in this frame just here, my wing has already started to be brought a little bit overhead. So the thing you want to be looking at is my backhand as I step through frame by frame here. Backhand. So you can see my front hand's moved a little bit, but my backhand's come down, and that'll bring the wing overhead, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reduce the load in both of my feet. I know a lot of people will look at switching feet and think it's all about pressing on your back foot to get the nose up so that you can then let go of your back foot, bring it to the front, swap feet, and then, have your old front foot be your new back foot. And when it lands at the back, big press to get that nose from dipping, to stop you from nose diving essentially. But I think the one crucial thing that people miss is, in order to not make the attitude of your board or the pitch of your board go through real like dolphining phases, and make the whole system really unstable, you do need to try and take weight out of your feet. I'm doing this by bringing that wing overhead. So we keep stepping through. I'm basically, I've added, I guess, there's sort of two ways to think about this. You can either think of it as adding pressure to your back foot to bring the nose up, whilst simultaneously taking weight out of everything using the wing. Or you can think of it as a differential. So you can think of it as you're reducing the weight in your back foot and your front foot using the wing overhead, pulling down on your backhand, but you're just taking less weight out of your back foot versus your front foot. So for some people, the first explanation will click. For some people, the second explanation will click. But the main thing that I want to get across is you need to try and use your wing to reduce the weight through your feet. And then once you've got that nailed, the process is basically a little bit of back foot pressure to bring the nose up. That'll allow you to have enough time to bring both your feet to the front. As you bring both feet to the front, the board's going to level out, if not start to go a bit nose down. And that's where your old front foot becomes your new back foot, and it needs to press as soon as it lands so that the board can level out, and even potentially just go a little bit nose up. So we just keep playing through. I've already done that back foot press to get the nose up. You can sort of start to see under the nose of my board because of the angle. Both feet are coming to the front of the board. We'll see the board start to go a little nose down. And it's like, I'm basically trying, I want to spend as little time as possible with both feet at the front of the board. That's why there was probably 2 frames where both feet were in the front foot straps sort of thing. As soon as I've got both feet to the front, I want to be moving one of them back so that I can compensate for that nose that's starting to go down. So nose is starting to go down, back foot lands, pressure hits in the back foot, and the nose of the board starts coming back up. I'm still using that wing overhead as a bit of a shock absorber. It's essentially, just helping the whole system be a little bit more forgiving, I guess is probably the word to use. And then bang, we just roll into that tack. And this isn't a video about tacking. I always fall for that trick where I'll end up just starting to talk about tacking. If you want to learn about tacking, go check out, I've got a heel side tacking video at the moment. I've got another video that I quickly did about just 2 essential concepts for tacking in general. And then I'll be looking to do a toe side tacking video pretty soon, so make sure you subscribe to see that one. Cool. Alright, so that's the first video done. So we'll watch that one just quickly again. So main thing to spot is my wing's sort of vertical, and then it goes like this to compensate for my weight, to try and take some weight out of my feet, and then we roll into the tack. So bang, wing's gone overhead to take up some weight, foot switched, and through the tack. Cool. Next video. Ooh, this one's straight into it. This was also from that session, so on the 4 meter wing, in that really messy chop. So, foot switch, roll into the tack. And there you go. Alright, so, what we want to see here, first thing we're going to spot is, am I going for the wing overhead first, or am I going for the nose up first? So, you can see there I've actually done a little, I've started to introduce that wing overhead, and almost simultaneously the nose of the board's coming up as well. It's really like, it's a really fine detail, but it's a really important one to point out is, that wing coming overhead to really help you take weight out of your feet before you switch feet. There we go. Okay, so here we go. This is the frame where both feet are at the front. Let's see, that's 1 frame, so 2 frames now. And then 3rd frame, I'm already starting to take that foot back. And you see the nose of the board's gone down. Really trying to press now with the back foot to get it level again. Board's now, board's now level, and we roll into the tack. And there we go. Cool. Oh, yep. So just to see that one again, this one was a really minor wing overhead to take the weight, but it's still an important detail to spot. So wings overhead, nose of the board's gone up, feet to the front, nose of the board goes down, old front foot becomes new back foot, making sure to press with that back foot, compensating as well with the wing. So if you mess with the timing a little bit, or you don't get the timing quite right with your feet, you do have a little bit of forgiveness if you use your wing. So right here you can see I've sort of fallen onto my wing to sort of compensate for that little bit extra time that I spent with both feet at the front, but also the, I guess my back foot placement. You can see where my back foot's landed is slightly in front of the mast, and it's probably directly above where my front foil is. So there's not as much leverage there to get back foot pressure through the board to get the nose back up, to get the nose up. It's probably a clearer way to say it. And there we go, roll through. Okay, next video. This one was at the Mile Lakes up in New South Wales. I had a 7 meter strike CWC and the same foil setup, same board setup. It was ridiculously light in this video. I think I was seeing gusts of 10 knots, which would get me up on the foil, and then like nothing. So if we just look into this, I think this will be a jibe. Yep, this will be a jibe. Roll through a nice little jibe. There we go. You can see how clear and how still the water is in that one. This one with a 7 meter, it's because you've got a bigger wing, you've got more assistance, I guess. So you can get away with a little bit more, or you can get away with some timing mistakes. But yeah, let's dig through this one and see if I make any of those timing mistakes. So we're looking for the wing coming overhead, which still vertical. Okay, there. Honestly, it's so it's such a fine detail that like it's sort of like a blink and you'll miss it sort of thing. I've gone from here to here, and it doesn't look very different, but if you look at the backhand, that's what sort of gives it away. So there and there, my backhand's punched out a little bit, and it's sort of pushing down, bringing that wing slightly overhead. There we go. You can see my body weight's shifted a little bit back. I'm sort of leaning back, and that's to get that nose of the board to come up. Little shuffle with the feet. Really aggressively pulling on the backhand now, you can actually see. Yep. Both feet have already gone to the front, and the old front foot's become my new back foot. I've already pressed to level the board out, and through the jibe we go. So this one was really interesting. I think for me, in lighter air, but with the right size wing, I'm going that much faster than what the wind is going, that I've generated that sort of apparent. The board feels really stable and locked in. So you'll notice the angle of the board didn't really change very much here. Like it was very, very subtle with the foot switch. The pitch of the board didn't change much. I had a little bit of a roll sort of moment happening, and that's probably because my feet are offset from the center line of the board a little bit. But yeah, so there you go. That's one into a jibe. Let's see what the next video is. Okay, cool. So this one's at Elwood. Bit of a gloomy looking day. Here we go, rolling into a jibe, and off we go. So let's see what we can learn from this one. So this is one of my classic, this was a weird day. It had a bit of like east, so it was like southeast sort of breeze, and when we have southeast in Elwood, it's sort of fluky, and everyone was sort of on the beach waiting for the wind to come in, and I thought I'd be the silly bugger out in the water trying to pump around. I managed to get up on the foil, but these days, like these sort of sessions are the ones where it's really crucial to pump into your maneuvers. So you can see I'm like pumping, trying to get speed into the foil for the jibe. Here we go. So this is where we start to actually do the foot switch. So let's see if we can spot whether the wing goes overhead at all with this one, or whether I'm being a bit more aggressive with the foot switch. Okay. I think that's it there. So we've gone there. That's where my backhand's started to pull on. This angle's a little bit harder to see, but it's still there. Yep. If you look at the trailing edge of the wing as well, you can see sort of vertical and then a little bit of angle, bringing it overhead now. I've almost done a bit of an ollie here where I've sort of kicked up. So the nose of the board's a bit more aggressively angled up in this one. And then both feet to the front. Wings actually gone further overhead to compensate for weight. And then back foot. I've started the carve of the turn in this one as well. I think that's probably part of that would be helping to keep flow through the foil. So starting a carve will accelerate your foil. And prevent you from reaching your stall speed. So back foot's come on, board's nice and level, roll through the jibe. And there we go. Yeah, nice little pump action out of it. Cool. So that one was pretty aggressive with the nose up, but the rest of it was pretty level board wise. So it looked pretty good. Next video. Okay, yeah, same session. I forgot to mention this is on the 5.5 meter strike V3. Yeah, in about somewhere from 5 to 10 knots a breeze. Cool. Another nice little jibe. So let's see where the foot switch happened. There. So we're looking for, when did I start bringing that wing overhead? There. So this one's an interesting one. It's almost simultaneous, the wing overhead and the nose of the board going up. As you dial it in, these first two steps of getting the nose of the board up and compensating for your weight with the wing can start to happen simultaneously, so that you're not, I guess, wasting time, speed, flow over your foil. Here we go. So yep, wings overhead, nose of the board's already heading up, feet switch. Yeah, you can see that the wing sort of got progressively more overhead during the foot switch, and actually rolling into the jibe, it sort of peaks at overhead here-ish. There we go, roll through, nice little Heineken jibe, I guess. So many different jibe variations now. Names for everything. Let's see. Oh, cool. Hey, so this one is 5.5 meter strike V2. The V2 was a little bit more comfortable to ride, I guess. It wasn't as stiff. So it was really nice at absorbing your weight when you pulled down on the backhand with the wing overhead. It took your weight off your feet softly, I guess, versus the Strike V3, which is really direct. You pull it on and the weight's off your feet straight away. Whereas this sort of progressively took the weight out of your feet. Just different feelings, and I'm not sure whether one's better than the other. I think it's more of I don't know, preference sort of thing. So yeah, cool. Let's have a look at this one. This is on using the GoPro Max. So it's on a pole out the front of my wing. Nice little toe side tack. Cool. So this was out at, it was Mordialloc, nice clear water. So here we go. It's going to be hard to spot the nose up on the board, but this one might be better for spotting the wing angle. Yeah, there you go. So from here to there, remember that the camera is attached to the wing, so the camera is going to move as the wing moves. So feet are still in standard sort of heel side position, but the wings come overhead to take the weight out of my feet. There we go. That's the foot switch happening. The wing is, yeah, there we go. Even more overhead. So it seems as I progress through the foot switch, the wing goes more and more overhead, especially because I'm about to roll into a tack, sort of getting ready for that tack. There we go, into toe side and through the tack we go. Cool, that's heaps of examples. Oh yeah, that's on the big 7 meter. Yeah, you can't really see too much here. Oh yeah, there's a little foot switch here. There we go. I guess another angle, probably not an amazing one, but this is out at Elwood with the city in the background. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, on the big 7 meter. Nose of the board's up, wings a little bit overhead. Feet have switched, the wings even more overhead, and there we go. Roll through a nice little toe side tack and really leaning on that 7 meter to get me through that one. Cool. Back to the beginning. So yeah, that was all I wanted to touch on with this one. Just a quick one. We just wanted to touch on taking the weight out of your feet using your wing by bringing that wing overhead, and it's really highlighting that either before you start to go nose up just to initiate the switching feet, or at the same time as going nose up to switch feet, you bring that wing overhead, add a bit of backhand pressure to take the weight out of your feet, and then as you keep turning through whatever the maneuver is going to be, tack or jibe, you keep pressing, and that'll really help you with switching feet. Yeah, that's about it for that one. If you want to know more about switching feet, head over to my full switching feet tutorial. I've got a playlist of all my tutorials as well, so have a dig through those and see if any of those can help you out in the water. Awesome, that'll do me. Thanks for watching.